What's going on, Blue Jays Nation, and welcome back. If you've been following everything happening with this team over the last few days, you know things are getting absolutely wild. The rumors are flying, the speculation is off the charts, and honestly, there's more smoke around this organization right now than we've seen in years. So let me catch you up on everything, because if you blinked, you might have missed some massive developments that could completely change the direction of this franchise. Let me start with the biggest story that has everyone talking right now. Kyle Tucker, one of the best all-around players in baseball, just made a visit to the Blue Jays spring training complex down in Dunedin, Florida. And here's the thing, this wasn't just some casual drop by. Multiple insiders, guys like Tom Verducci and other credible reporters, are saying this visit is significant. They're essentially reporting that the Blue Jays are going all in for the 2026 season, and Kyle Tucker is the centerpiece of that plan. This is the kind of move that signals to everyone that Toronto is done messing around. They're not interested in being competitive anymore. They want to win, and they want to win now. Think about what adding Kyle Tucker would mean for this lineup. You'd have him anchoring the order alongside Vladimir Guerrero Jr., potentially Bo Bichette if he bounces back. That's a murderer's row right there. Tucker is a legitimate five-tool player who can do everything at an elite level. Hit for average, hit for power, steal bases, play elite defense, the whole package. And the best part, he's still relatively young. We're not talking about getting a guy on the decline here. This would be Tucker in his prime years, the exact window where the Blue Jays need to capitalize. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true. The Blue Jays always get linked to big names and then nothing happens. I get it. I've been burned before too. But there's something different about this situation. First of all, Tucker is from Tampa, Florida. The Blue Jays train in Dunedin, which is literally right there. That geographical connection matters. Players love the idea of training close to home during the off-season. It's one of those intangible factors that can actually tip the scales in a negotiation. Second, the fact that he actually took the time to visit the facility, to meet with management, to see what the organization is building. That tells you he's genuinely interested. Stars don't waste their time on teams they have zero intention of signing with. This would be a similar type of signing to when the Blue Jays shocked everyone and landed George Springer. Nobody saw that coming. The Blue Jays came out of nowhere and stole one of the best free agents on the market. And yes, the Springer deal has had its ups and downs with injuries and age catching up, but overall it was still a massive statement signing. Tucker would be that on an even bigger scale because we're getting him younger. We're getting him before the decline phase. This is the type of player who can change the entire trajectory of a franchise for the next decade. The money is going to be absolutely insane. We're probably talking 10 years and somewhere north of $350 million, maybe more, depending on how aggressive other teams get. But you know what? Sometimes you have to pay the premium to get elite talent. This isn't the time to be cheap. The Blue Jays have financial resources. They play in the biggest market in Canada. If there was ever a time to open up the checkbook and make a splash, this is it. Get Kyle Tucker locked up, and suddenly this team goes from playoff hopeful to legitimate World Series contender overnight. Now, while all the Tucker buzz is dominating the headlines, there are other rumors swirling that are worth paying attention to. Ketel Marte's name keeps popping up in Blue Jays discussions. The Arizona Diamondbacks are apparently listening to offers on their all-star infielder as they look to retool on the fly. They're not doing a full rebuild, but they're definitely open to moving pieces around to get younger or to address other needs. Marte would be an incredible addition to this lineup. Versatile defender who can play multiple positions, switch hitter with legitimate pop, high contact guy who doesn't strike out a ton. He checks a lot of boxes. The question is whether the Blue Jays can land both Tucker and Marte, or if it's more of an either-or situation. Personally, I think if you can get Tucker, you do whatever it takes to make that happen and worry about everything else later. But Marte would be a phenomenal plan B if Tucker ends up going somewhere else. And if the Blue Jays somehow miss on Bo Bichette in their internal negotiations, having Marte as a replacement option would soften that blow significantly. I don't think we're going to see both Marte and Bichette on this roster, but crazier things have happened in baseball, so who knows. Let me shift gears for a second because I need to talk about something that happened recently that honestly made me pretty frustrated. The Baseball Hall of Fame contemporary era ballot results came out, And once again, Carlos Delgado got snubbed. He got 9 votes, which puts him 3 short of the 12 needed for induction. Meanwhile, Jeff Kent, former Blue Jay, who, yes, had a great career, got the 14 votes needed and is now going to Cooperstown. And look, I'm not here to diminish what Kent accomplished. Leading home run hitter among second basemen, that's impressive. But when you look at that ballot and see names like Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Gary Sheffield, and Carlos Delgado not getting in, it just feels wrong. Delgado is the greatest home run hitter ever born in Puerto Rico. He was absolutely dominant for nearly a decade, averaging 35 home runs and 100 RBIs year after year. He was one of the most feared hitters in baseball during his prime, and the fact that he keeps getting overlooked is honestly baffling to me. I get that he played for teams that weren't always in the spotlight. Most of his career was split between Toronto, Florida, and the Mets. None of those teams won championships during his time there. But we're talking about individual excellence here, not team success. Delgado's numbers speak for themselves, and they're Hall of Fame worthy all day, every day. The good news is that because he got more than 5 votes, he'll be eligible for the next contemporary era ballot in just 3 years instead of having to wait longer. So there's still hope. But it's frustrating that guys like Bonds and Clemens, who have objectively better statistical cases than almost anyone, continue to be punished for the steroid era, even though baseball as an institution benefited massively from that era. The hypocrisy is wild. Either you keep everyone from that era out, or you let them all in based on their performance. This selective judgment doesn't make sense. And while we're talking Hall of Fame, let's not forget that Dave Stieb still isn't in either. The best pitcher of the 1980s, not named Roger Clemens, and he can't get the recognition he deserves. Between Stieb and Delgado, 2 of the greatest Blue Jays ever, both on the outside looking in, that's a slap in the face to this franchise and its history. These guys deserve to be immortalized in Cooperstown, and I'll continue beating that drum until it happens. This is the official campaign right here. Get Carlos Delgado and Dave Stieb into the Hall of Fame where they belong. Back to the present, the winter meetings are wrapping up, and while Sunday is usually pretty quiet, there's still potential for moves to happen. The Blue Jays have been one of the most active teams in terms of rumors and speculation. Even if they don't land Kyle Tucker, the fact that they're in these conversations shows that management is serious about improving this roster. They know the window is now. They know that Vlad and Bo are approaching free agency. They know that George Springer is aging. Everything is pointing toward this being a now or never moment for this core. What I want to see over the next few weeks is continued aggression. Don't just kick tires on big names. Actually close deals. Go get the closer this bullpen desperately needs. Lock up that middle of the order bat, whether it's Tucker or someone else. Add the depth pieces that are going to help this team survive a 162 game grind. The pieces are there. The financial resources are there. The only question is whether management has the guts to actually pull the trigger on the moves that need to happen. This offseason has the potential to be franchise-altering. We've already got Dylan Cease in the rotation, which is huge. If we can add Kyle Tucker to this lineup, suddenly we're not just talking about making the playoffs. We're talking about being a legitimate threat to win the whole thing. That's the standard this organization should be holding itself to. Not just competing, but winning championships. That's what this fan base deserves after years of frustration and disappointment. So that's where things stand right now. Kyle Tucker rumors are heating up. Ketel Marte remains a possibility. Carlos Delgado got snubbed again, which is infuriating. And the Blue Jays are at a crossroads where the decisions they make over the next few weeks will define this era of the franchise. I'm cautiously optimistic. I want to believe that this time is different. That management won't just talk about being aggressive, but will actually back it up with action. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe the Kyle Tucker hype? What other moves should the Blue Jays be making? I want to hear from you because this is the most exciting time of year and we're all in this together. Let's go Blue Jays.